Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I hope you had a great weekend and happy Tuesday. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, well, hopefully you listened to episode 280, my interview with Ryan Baxter. He's a primal health coach, and we touched on his journey through optimizing his hormones, overcoming some thyroid issues, and improving his gut health. We also touched on how he is big into obstacle course racing, which got me motivated a bit to do those, and the importance of grip strength, the benefits of walking, and much, much more. So definitely enjoyed my interview with Ryan. Hopefully you did too. If not, definitely listen to episode 280 if you haven't already. Now, on today's micro podcast, I know you guys love when I bring up some studies. So this one was from 2015. I'll share my screen real quick for you. The title of it is Strategic Creatine Supplementation and Resistance Training in Healthy Older Adults. Let me see here. There you go. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it right now. This was the sort of the abstract right here, and then the entire study link I will put in the show notes. So I thought this would be beneficial, mainly because we talk about resistance training a lot, and, working out, let's say lifting 3 days a week, I think is a good goal for everybody, doing some type of resistance training. But what can we do to sort of augment and help to avoid sarcopenia as we get older, right? Sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. As we age, we want to be able to do the everyday things, going up the stairs, playing with our kids or grandkids. And so this study was sort of interesting in the sense that it not only looked at creatine to help with building muscle mass and strength, but also the timing of it. And should you have it before a workout or after a workout? Consequently, both are probably beneficial. This one, as you'll see, I'll go into it. I'll give you sort of the high level and what you should take from it. But if you're not sure what creatine is found in red meat and seafood mainly. It's a nitrogen-containing compound. So it's been getting a decent amount of press if you're sort of in the health realm as a way to improve aging muscle mass and strength. And so I thought this would be something that you guys could all find some benefit of. I'll sort of give you the high level of the methods and the conclusion from the study. Now, this actually took 64 adults older than 50, 38 women, 26 males, and essentially they were not engaged in any type of supervised resistance training prior to the study. So these were somewhat sedentary individuals. I think they find that when they do these studies that they can get more of an effect from people that are not in a training state already. And they participants were performing mild intensity physical activities 1 to 4 times per week at baseline. So pretty much not doing resistance training going into it, light activity. But what they did is they did a randomized 1-to-1-to-1 basis to supplement before creatine a workout, after the workout creatine, and then a placebo. So sort of 3 subsets there after training 3 days per week for 32 weeks. This was done on. Participants were instructed to refrain from physical activity for 48 hours, alcohol for 24 hours, and food and drink for 2 hours prior to training sessions. So 3 days per week, they tested with creatine before the workout, after, and a placebo. And the variables that they measured before and after the 32 weeks were over was body composition with mainly lean tissue and fat mass, and then muscle strength, leg press and chest press 1 rep max. So those are sort of the procedures regarding the experiment. And it definitely, creatine supplementation occurred only on the training days. And I think that is something that, you're going to take from this study. I don't believe you necessarily have to take it every day. Some people say that maybe you should, but creatine is not something that's super, super expensive, so you could take it every day. But either way, what the gain from this study was the fact that muscle strength, body composition improved, and I'm going to show you some charts to prove that out compared to placebo. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and you'll be able to see the changes in lean tissue mass. So this was the changes in both the creatine before, taking it before and after. So definitely significantly greater than just the placebo group. So definitely muscle strength and training volume took a bump with creatine before and after. Looks like after is the winner, which is the conclusion of this, is if you're going to take creatine, take it after the workout. And the changes in the chest press pretty close between the creatine before and creatine after versus the placebo. I'll stop sharing. So the bottom line is, from this study showing that creatine supplementation increased muscle strength compared to placebo. So the mechanisms underlying the greater increase in maximal muscle strength with creatine supplementation, and so again, the nice thing about creatine is it's not super expensive. You can get it from a lot of great companies out there. I don't necessarily have a show sponsor. I'm not trying to sell you on that. There's quite a bit of companies. I can maybe put a link in the show notes of a few of my favorite ones. But there's definitely a conclusion that creatine supplementation increased lean tissue mass, muscle strength in aging adults. Consuming creatine before and after played a positive role, but ingesting creatine immediately following the resistance training augmented the biggest results. Obviously, there's further research that has been done on this. This was done in 2015, but I thought it was sort of a cool study that would, be a benefit to all of the listeners. So that was, mainly, that was the main basis behind the study. And then if you're probably asking dosage wise, 5 grams is sort of the baseline. I think that's a good place to start. And there's been studies, going back and forth between 0 to 10 grams, but I think 5 is a good place to start. And I think the good place to start is just the days of the workout. You can take it after the workout, which is what it's sort of concluding from this study. So that's what I wanted to touch on today, the strategic creatine supplementation and resistance training in healthy older adults. So if you are active and lifting about 3 times per week, this could be something that you can add into the program to help decrease sarcopenia, increase muscle strength and volume, and help you get better results. So that's all I want to touch on today. If you love the podcast, feel free to leave a review on iTunes or Spotify or whatever your favorite device is of. That would be great. And if you're looking for a great present or book for a Father's Day gift, or Father's Day is actually over with now, but just something for you to read on your own or to get for a gift, my Stepladder System book. Love it. Check it out. I put a lot of time and years into that. So that's stepladdersystem.com. I'll leave a link in the show notes for that. But that's about it. If you have any questions, or I'll leave a link in the show notes for the study. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you on Friday for another great interview. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.